described by listeners like trumpets or horns, almost musical in quality.
Back to the Conversation Unknown podcast. This is episode 14. Little hiatus. A lot of things happen in people's lives, but we are back and we're going to film 2 episodes this week. We're live on Twitch right now. If you did miss it, you catch us on YouTube. Typically, what are we going to be doing? Like Sundays, Mondays, usually around like 5:30-ish.
Yeah.
Trying to go live so you guys can
You'll get it when you get it. No,
but yeah, you'll see the edited version on YouTube. If you are here, please take the time, hit the like, subscribe, share it with your friends. We always shout out all the links that we're going to use in this. Anybody's that we pull up, go to their channel, hit the like, subscribe. Obviously, they're putting out cool content. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about it. So, outside of that, anything you guys want to say, or you want to jump into it?
No, it's good to be back.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Sorry for a little bit of a pause we had there.
Yeah, man.
It happens.
Got
Stuff
kids,
happens, man.
Anybody who's got kids, they know.
That's life, man.
Shit goes down.
Stuff always goes down.
But yeah, we're still here.
So starting off with some nice stuff.
Yeah, let's see what
Dude,
we got here.
I knew about this guy for a while, and
here we go. Get it.
It popped back up for me. Like I was just I'm rolling through Instagram or whatever, and this video popped up because I watched the documentary of it, and it'll explain it, but I just want to kind of give you the foreshadowing of it. This dude did deep sea exploration. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of basically lakes underwater. He's basically the dude that discovered the different densities and shit, because it's I think it's more gas than it is actual what do you
liquid?
Yeah, liquid, water. And they couldn't put the submersible through it. It won't go under, but eels are able to go through it and stuff. And I've heard of even underground waterfalls and stuff. But the weird thing is, this guy had it, found it, got the footage, makes his documentary, wants to start talking about it and exploring it, and the next thing you know, he dies in this crazy helicopter crash.
You found something you shouldn't have.
Oh yeah,
dude, it's weird when you watch this footage. You're gonna know exactly why it's weird.
Things that I had ever seen in the bottom of the ocean. It was while filming for Blue Planets in the Gulf of Mexico. And inside the ring of mussels was a lake. And it's wait a minute, I'm already underwater. We went out over the water in this lake and tried to descend in it and bounced off. It was so super saline and dense that the submarine couldn't go down in it. We literally bounced off, and as we bounced off, we sent ripples heading back to the shoreline. It was insane. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, a few days after this aired on the television that he had made this discovery, when him and his friend were flying the helicopter, it exploded, and he died.
And it's gone.
You know what I mean? You discover some crazy wild shit, and honestly, I think people like us and people that watch this stuff have probably seen or maybe come across this or at least heard of it, but I think the average person wouldn't even know that something like that's going on.
Thing, right? Yeah, the super saline solution or whatever that it is, where it's just extra salty. Yeah, and I've seen that on the surface too, where you have freshwater meeting the salt water, and it you can see the difference. It's crazy.
So crazy.
I've done that floating thing before. One of our buddies, who Jonathan Rogue is?
Nah. Well,
he's he was on flyers and stuff back in the day for parties.
Downtown?
He owns Floatlight, dude.
Shut up.
So
sensory deprivation.
I went to this party that was outside of this mansion, dude, huge stage, and it was his house. And he's like, "Hey, what's up, Tazl, man? You gonna play my next party here?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, this place is awesome."
Nice.
And he's like, "Yeah, dude, have you ever done floating?" I'm like, "No, I heard of it." He's like, "Yeah, I own Floatlight." He's like, "I'll hook you up. Use a free one."
Did you do it?
Yeah. So I wanted the saline solution in there. I got hundreds of pounds of salt and water.
Bags.
Dude, you just sit there and you float on top of water, and it's crazy. I didn't have any of those crazy spiritual experiences people talk about, but I am interested in trying it 1 or 2 more times just to really, like, the first time was just kind of like
Acclimated to it, right?
just like, this is fucking weird. Like, they give you this clay earbuds.
Oh yeah.
To put in your ears so the salt doesn't go near your ear. And they got like a little spray bottle with water just in case and get it in your eye. It's like burns like hell.
Yeah.
But it was an experience. I would recommend trying it at least a couple times. I'm going back for another one as soon as I find that time, because it isn't cheap too.
Yeah.
It's like $80 or something.
Is it like pitch black in there and stuff too?
No. It kind of looks like a galaxy with stars and stuff, and you got some crazy like melodic music going on in the background.
Nice. I heard you can like trip out in those.
Yeah. Like
It's like trying to go to bed after eating mushrooms.
Yeah.
hey, try going in there while eating some mushrooms.
Dude, I'm already like weirded out by it, like being like all your senses deprived, and then being like in this kind of like claustrophobic space. Like, I don't get me wrong, it's not that I wouldn't try it, because I think you should try everything once, but like, well, with limitations, but I think it would be worth trying.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that I might be like, no.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it and like try to eat some mushrooms and go there. I'm gonna do it just for the. If you look into that, there's people have a lot of like crazy like like experiences like I have actually like interdimensional like.
You have to look into
like some DMT trip type shit.
There's like psychotropic breathing that you can do, where like you breathe in a certain way, and like the way it mixes the oxygen with your brain, that alone enough is to get you to just like fucking trip balls.
They actually at that same place, they do breathing classes to teach you how to do that.
Nice.
Like, but for other reasons too, just like it's great. Like where you basically like will take so many breaths and then you'll hold it for as long as you literally can to almost like pass out. Like, and then I don't know, it's weird. Like somebody was trying to explain it to me and I'm like, it sounds awesome, but
how about this, guys? A float light field trip.
Yeah.
We gotta bring GoPros in there and get us in there.
A float light field trip.
Absolutely, I'm down.
I'll bring like I'll do like an audio recording of me, like, all right, freaking out here, man, but getting through this. This one, like, I don't need to say anything about this shit because you guys already know what it is right now. But I thought it was pretty funny while somebody finally took a video.
All right, let's see. What do we got?
Check it out.
I think you know exactly what we got.
Hold on.
Right?
Is that a plane? Yeah, that's a plane.
Look how they're all gas masked up and like hazmated up pretty much. This one guy's got nothing on. Everybody else is all geared up, and then this dude's just like, fuck it, I'm taking a shot. But for all the naysayers out there, I mean,
it's actually it's a thing, man.
Yeah, I mean, they're clearly flying through the air and
doing
pumping
something.
Well, ever
clouds.
since inauguration, there's a lot of conspiracies coming to truth now.
Yeah.
You guys hear that they declassified the JFK, MLK, RFK?
Yeah.
Assassination.
Yeah, he gave the pen after he signed it. He's like, give that to RFK Jr. because it's his uncle, or he's the nephew of him.
Yeah.
Pretty cool move.
It is cool, man. And like, one of them that I thought was interesting, and I know that it pissed a shit ton of people off, was when he said on no government document will there be anything other than male and female, and he put that in the first day too.
Right.
I was like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Sorry.
it doesn't bother me, but people were losing their shit. Like,
Yeah,
the
I
internet
bet.
went wild for a minute.
Yeah, you'll have that. He's only got a few years, you know. He's got to make a
he's gonna
impact.
fuck it up, dude. Like, he's no holds barred at this point. It's like think of Trump back in the WWF days. Like, he's pulling the freaking folding chair out. He's going for it, man. Like, it's all over at this point.
That's right. He was in WWF.
Right?
Forgot about
Remember
that shit.
Things are gonna get interesting.
Oh my god, dude.
He did you hear so he did all the pardons, you know, with the Proud Boys or whatever.
Yeah.
The J6.
Yeah, the J6 guys,
Yeah.
but I didn't really care about any of that. But the one that did catch my attention is he released Ross Ulbricht. He's the guy that created the Silk Road website. The Silk Road. Let him out.
Fucking pirate. What was his name? The pirate.
The Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yeah, Pirate Roberts. Yeah.
So is like a rational sort of like just being like a level like playing field. I just want to like admit the fact that I accept that he's a criminal. He is like on a cartel leader thing. He had hits hired out. This has all been confirmed, and that's illegal. He broke the law.
Yeah.
But the nerd in me respects what he did. Like, is from like just a project level. He made like Amazon.com on the dark web, which is just like somebody had to do it, and he did.
Dude, it
so
was genius.
Yeah.
Honestly, like. And it even had rating system and stuff, so people knew like the quality of stuff they were getting.
Could you imagine?
Dude, I mean, like, think
5
about
stars.
the wild stuff that went on that website. And the craziest thing is like the libertarian in me is like, fuck it, let it ride. Like, who cares? But and that's why like I almost boarded that like anarchy like political stance of like let communities police communities. You know what I mean? Like, it's like ultimate freedom is kind of like my thing. You know what I mean? And it's like I've even gone as far as saying like, honestly, just legalize all the fucking drugs and let people do what they want to do, because every place that has like there's less government money being spent on fucking imprisoning them, arresting them, setting them up. And they end up having like clinics that they use, like all that money that they would have used to like criminalize and like go after them and stuff. They used to like build clinics. And don't get me wrong, like handing out free drugs sounds crazy as fuck, but they find like with the programs that they do and putting that money into like getting them nicer clothes, finding them a place to live, like getting them a job, they find that they end up stop doing drugs, because I'm a firm believer that people don't become addicts because they're addicted to the substance. They're taking the substance to escape the life that they live.
True story.
Yeah. And
I agree 100%.
And that's why I think like if you just legalize it, like it would solve all the money, like, well, not all the money issues, but like all the money that's being poured into it. It would make a lot less criminals because there'd be no drug-related crimes.
Well, that's a lot less money in their pocket.
Darwin's fucking situation would even itself out. You know what I mean?
But, you know what? It could be actually more money in their pocket if they were.
Yeah, I mean, if they're already the biggest drug dealers there is. Why not just fucking go for it, dude?
It's true. It's
you
true.
You know what I mean?
Well,
like I always say, there's no bigger gang than the government. Man.
Yeah, that's true. It's not a lie for sure. What do we got here?
This is going to be something I think Tony will really enjoy.
What do we got?
Ooh, 30 years old man.
Watch this one.
Yeah.
It is not a real planet. It can literally leave our orbit underneath its own power. According to the Andromedans, it was brought here from Ursa Minor, from a star system called Chauta that had 21 planets in it. It belonged to the 17th planet, and it was one of 4 moons. Now, there are ruins all over it. The map is there. There are some pictures there. There's a lot more, which I don't have today. But it will be coming out. This is why the Apollo astronauts stopped going back. It's because there was somebody already there and they were told not to go back. This information is out there. Okay, our moon is 9.1 billion years old. 9.1 billion years old. It is in fact older than the Earth. Okay, it is many of the materials that have been found on the moon, minerals, don't exist on our planet. The moon did not belong to part of the Earth. It was brought here.
That's a fact.
Literally.
There are minerals that don't exist here,
Our
but
solar
there's no
system
atmosphere either, so...
has 8 artificial moons in it that were brought here. That can literally, underneath their own power, leave our solar system. And there are beings living on it. Now, the upper echelon of the world government know this. They've known it for a very long time. But they didn't want us to know because of the element of power. And we'll discuss that. Now,
Let's pause for a second.
Earth has been colonized for...
So, thus far, what do you think of this? I'm just curious.
I'm curious where they get the 9.1 million figure. Is that just because the tests they've done on the samples they brought back?
That's what I'm wondering.
Which, or 9.1 billion rather.
Yeah.
And, because that would be interesting. I guess I just assumed, because I always thought that the moon was created when a giant...
yeah, that's what I was just going to say, because that's what they tell us. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've seen the models and stuff, and they all make sense.
I've just seen something like that the other day. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Like a planet smashed into Earth, and then... Right?
Yeah,
Earth was being formed.
There was when the universe was or the galaxy was being formed, the solar system was being formed. A giant planet crashed right into Earth, and it was spinning around, and like everything was just a big fireball. And then the moon sort of pulled off. That's what they say.
Yeah.
That's what the story is.
I just seen something like that.
Mm-hmm. I've seen models for it, but yeah, this guy.
There's so much crazy shit going on with the moon. Like I could tell you right now, I don't think it's organic. I don't think it's
Death Star, bro.
Man, I think either. I mean, would you hear about them dropping whatever it was on the moon?
It rang like a
for
bell.
a mission? It rang like a bell.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And every crater on the moon is the exact same depth.
Really?
Every crater. Yeah, so you don't think like the bigger craters, those little craters, they wouldn't be just a little deeper? They're all exactly the same depth.
Interesting. I didn't know that. All I know is when I see all the craters, and there's a lot of craters, it just reminds us that we're in a shooting gallery right now. There's shit fucking flying around, and
Dude,
we could get hit.
Every what is it? At the end of summer, there's that. I forgot what they call it. The meteor. It's like for like a couple weeks or whatever. There's like meteor storms every night, and people will freak out about it and be like, "Oh, did you see this? You see this?" And like, there's all these shooting stars. I'm like,
oh man,
it comes every year.
Right.
Yeah.
I got links for the next one. Speaking of that shit,
well, we can pick this up, but I just wanted to pause and like kind of see where you guys are at with it so far, because you said a lot of crazy shit there. Like,
well, I'm willing to listen. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
I have seen more footage, new footage of the face next to the moon. By the way, guys.
Oh,
really?
Shit.
Yeah, a lot of it.
Didn't we land on that's a hoax?
Weren't you supposed to
you're supposed to prove that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, I just remember Barry's step was like, nah, man, this is bullshit.
I don't know.
I'll tell you this. Like, I believe it's bullshit, but the mind inside me and the spirit inside me would love if it was fucking real.
Yeah, right.
Holy shit! Like, this is the coolest thing fucking ever.
Off and on for many hundreds of millions of years. The first race to actually chart our planet was a group from Alpha Draconis. They are reptilian beings. They're anywhere from 7 feet to 22 feet tall. They can weigh up to 1,800 pounds.
Yeah.
And they don't like human beings. Not here, not anywhere.
That's an interesting statement.
They were the very first to chart it. They were also the very first to actually have a small colony here 809 million years ago. Now, one of the very first colonies or places that was colonized on the planet is North America, what we now call the United States.
California.
There are approximately, today, 1,833 of these reptilians still existing inside the planet.
Where is he getting these numbers? These are too
They have
exact.
lived here for thousands of years. They live
Hello, he
thousands
said
of years.
approximately 18.
Their bodies are not like ours. They live anywhere from 100 to 200 miles beneath the surface.
Okay, check this out. Pause this for a second.
This is where they are.
So what he's talking about, I'm not like a huge like reptilian like follower or anything like that. Like back in the day, in the early stages of like looking into conspiracies and stuff, it was an intriguing path to go down, but like I didn't really fall into it, and then I just kind of dropped it. And then not too many years ago, I started seeing like well, talks about like South America and shit, and they were having like alien problems. Like where they literally sent like the fucking army and shit to deal with like, it's kind of like, remember when that video came out of the fucking UFO crash in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
And the cops were patrolling, they were checking out the backyards. And It was almost like that, but like on a grand scheme, like people were getting taken from the village and all this crazy shit.
Dude.
They sent...
I got a clip for that, not now, but dude, that's
see it pop up?
actual, dude, that's like a CIA a document of that shit actually happening. Like people were getting like these UFOs and these aliens were like offing people and like abducting them. Yeah, they had to send in the military. Yeah,
South America.
That's actually a CIA declassified file.
Dude, so what he's saying is actually accurate, because down whatever, I forgot, I think it was Argentina, pardon the Amazon, whatever.
Sure, it's one of them.
There's well, I'm gonna get into Argentina, but it's like right off Argentina, like probably parts of Brazil and whatever the fuck is in there, somewhere in there. I don't know the map of South America. I can name a handful of countries, you know what I mean? But anyway, they sent in like their navy for whatever country that was, and then the fucking US CIA and the fucking FBI and shit went down there too, to check it out and like evaluate it. But anyway, what I'm trying to get to in like a long fucking winded way here is that the natives down there, like people that are there, like their ancestors, like stories get passed on and on, like kind of like the Mayan shit and everything. Like they learn and learn and learn these things. Are Native Americans, they got like these folklore and these tales. And on the coast of Argentina, there's all these cave systems. And I think we've talked about this when we were talking about the alien fucking ports and shit, about like them parking UFOs and stuff. But anyway, they have this huge cavern system, like way, way, way deep. And they would go down there like as like spiritual missions and bring offerings to these reptilian fucking, like they'd almost go through a portal, they called it. They'd go into the cave system so deep that they go through like a portal. Whoa. And then they would make offerings so that these things wouldn't come up and fucking eat them and shit.
Like people or gold or money,
like
or
fucking animals and fucking probably trinkets and shit that they made, like, hey, here's a peace offering, don't fucking kill us.
Sure.
And
interesting.
It's honestly, like, I'll try and bring it for next time, because it would be cool to piggyback on it Thursday. Since we're gonna do another episode in like 3 days anyway, like it'll be fresh
for sure.
I'll try and find it, because it was one of the most intriguing stories that would like ever, just the alien and the abduction like resurfacing again, but then the history and the folklore of like these cavernous systems. And I've heard that in Native American lore, but it's usually dealing with like skinwalkers and shit like that, and or Wendigos or whatever, you know what I mean? But anyway, I wanted to lend a little credence to what he's saying here.
Yeah, for sure. It's lining up.
And it's all over. The planet is honeycombed with tunnels and caverns. There are approximately 18,000 what we know as grays between here and our moon, from underneath the surface of the planet and the moon. Now, the grays. The Greys originally came from Zeta Reticuli
You just fucking imagine being at a fucking
giving
meeting like
you the
this.
Andromedan perspective.
Like,
I'm
here,
here to
this
challenge
is
anybody
your
else's information.
intro.
I'm going to tell you their perspective. The Greys came from Zeta Reticuli 2. They left there 892,000 years ago. They got trapped in a war called the Orion War, which lasted 600,000 years. It was a galactic war between reptilian forces and human beings.
What?
What happened was they were captured by a group in Orion, the constellation of Orion, which is Rigel, Valtrax, Ursa Major, Ursa Minor. They were genetically altered there. Many of the females of their species were killed, so they could not reproduce, so they could control the race. They also genetically altered them so that their sexual organs would become atrophied, and eventually they just wouldn't be there because they weren't being used. Now, the Greys, at the same time this was going on, decided that the emotional part of themselves, of their personality, was their weakest link. So they literally bred or thought out the emotional part of their bodies, of their character. Which is why they have no emotion. They're robots. Today, there are approximately 2,100 actual Greys, actual physical Greys, that have a soul, that are part of the original race, the lineage of the original race, in our solar system. All the rest, virtually every single one that are doing the abductions on people, are clones. They're robots. They're not. They don't have an essence. They don't have a soul in them. They're robots. Does everybody follow me so far? Okay.
No.
The Greys have a problem. They're dying. This is why they basically are here. Now we, as a planetary race, offer them a great opportunity to possibly save their race. But it isn't working. And I'll explain why that is.
I didn't realize that video was so fucking long.
Damn.
Still, that story, it's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's wild.
Damn. It just
I mean, like,
kind of it provides a little with all what we know of the Greys, the reptilians. There's like a whole storyline. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Right.
That's
And
good.
he was 30 years old too.
right? I mean,
Damn.
look at his haircut and like the way he's dressed and stuff. Like, I kind of buy it.
Yeah.
That's some
Like,
late
was he in
80s, early 90s shit right there.
Was this
I
like
wonder
a
how-
college? I want to know more about like where he's speaking. Is it like a college course or like you imagine that's your teacher?
Dude, I don't. That's what I'm saying. Like, could you imagine like accepting a job position? They're like, it's orientation day. Like, here you fucking go. And you're like, wait, what? I thought I was like doing coding or something. Like,
Right.
like no, fuck that. You're going to the moon, buddy. There's a galactic war going on, and we need you.
Ooh, MK Ultra.
Okay, this one, like, you may have already seen something like this. I think you might actually follow this person, but I'm not sure. But I came across this, and I love. Well, first off, MK Ultra is like 100% fact.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
truth.
Shit's
And
insane.
like, I was even gonna suggest, if you want to, we don't have to because a lot of people have seen it. But if you type in like MK Ultra, like celebrity glitches and shit like that,
Oh,
you'll find
yes.
like
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
Katy Perry, Al Roker, like fucking
Johnny
Gaga,
Depp.
like yeah, dude, just like where they
Just freeze
hear a
out.
word and all of a sudden they just fucking snap out
Yep.
and like just go into like this fucking mode, like where
It's
they're just
weird.
staring at, like they're just like they don't even move or blink or anything. Like it's just fucking
wild.
weird, dude.
Shaq.
So I mean, this is just kind of like a little synopsis. It's kind of like a almost a story time in a sense. Like it's not really like
Ordinary day. I was tired from work, detaching, ready to doze off. My body relaxes and I feel as if in a rush, an instant, my eyes snap open. I look around and I don't recognize the ceiling or this large room. I am not home. I am wearing shorts and a tank top with no shoes. I don't take the time to ask myself questions. My mind does not focus on the where am I, but springs into action. All I know is what I have to do. There is a mission, a job to do. The only acceptable outcome is to follow all directives and mission completion. I am not aware of who I am at this moment. An alter is fully in control. Probably the grey mouse, someone quick, quiet and focused. I had tunnel vision, moving quickly through this house, searching for tools to protect myself. This house is massive, rooms large. I don't see anyone. There is not much noise, yet dread presses upon me. I feel they will be home any minute. I cannot panic. I am not allowed to have emotions or reactions. It is time for the mouse to escape. I have to get out of this place. Stay awake. Full disclosure is the way.
So check this out. Like, I mean, I'm not sure how far you guys delved into the MK Ultra shit or not.
Enough.
But so I figured you would be more on board with this. But like, when they call them alters, it's like almost like how when they refer to people with like split personalities, how they have like alters as well and shit like that.
Okay.
But they purposely do it with this, and this is all declassified. Like,
nice.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, you can.
I've seen some of the documents.
And now that the JFK and RFK shit's released, I gotta like read into it. But it was always rumored that like Lee Harvey Oswald was part of the MK Ultra plan. And I don't know about, I forgot the other guy that fucking killed RFK. What was his name? He had like two of the same names. I was like,
Ron.
What the fuck was it?
Ronald. The Jewish last name.
Yeah, it was like almost like repeated, like, or something like that, wasn't it? Like, but anyway, a lot of rumors like led around that, but like they would use these people as like fucking like assassins and shit like that, and they would like say a code word and they would like instantly go into their altar and be on like fucking like straight up assassin mode, like,
and remember nothing of it after they snap out.
And it was like the perfect alibi because like boom, they're back to like, oh, I took a nap, like I was here the whole fucking time. Like,
it's crazy, man. Well, yep, the documents don't lie, right?
Nope.
Dude, I mean, they did the weird shit that they did to those people, from sleep deprivation to LSD. Like, well, you know, like you've seen the Clockwork Orange, right?
Yeah, and that was what, Kubrick, right? Yeah, and
how come he's always involved in the conspiracy movies, man?
The moon. Wait, was it Stanley?
He did the moon landing.
Moon landing, yeah.
He did the fucking Clockwork Orange. He did Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah, dude. And then he died.
Yeah, and
right
he
after
had like
that.
another hour and a half to 2 hours of footage that he wanted released in the theatrical version, and the movie's already long as fuck. They argued over it. They fought over rights, and all of a sudden, boom, he just magically dies of natural causes or whatever the fuck it was.
The interesting thing about Kubrick in that is that anybody that's seen Clockwork Orange, it's like, I feel like they left most of that in. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a fucking weird movie.
Yeah.
The whole house raid scene is just.
Yeah.
But like, you know how they drink that milk,
the titty milk.
Yeah, but like, do you know, like they said it's infused with what do they call it in it?
Probably pure acid.
It was like that and adrenochrome.
Acid.
And something
adrenochrome. That's from
it's something milk mixed with.
Whoa.
You took too much, man. You took too much.
You won't need much. Just a tiny taste.
You just got the dropper.
But yeah, dude. I mean, I'd like to delve into the MK Ultra thing a little bit more because I think it's pretty fascinating. But,
and there's a legitimacy to it, which makes it,
you
know, real alluring for sure.
What the fuck?
Oh yeah, I saw this from a different angle, I think.
Like, what the fuck was that? They got all these weird ass fires. Well, is that even going on anymore? Like, or
yeah, dude, the last couple of things I've seen on it, I've seen a lot of arsonists over there.
Yeah,
I saw one of a guy in a gas station, just fucking like. The cop walks in, he's like, hey, stop right there, and the guy turns around, he's by the chips, and then like all of a sudden 2 flames come up, like he lit the chips on fire somehow, and then he's just like tries to walk away, just a batshit crazy person. And then there's another guy by the highway that was just like lighting stuff on like brush right next to the highway, just lighting it on fire. A guy comes by with a water bottle and puts it out. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? And they're just casually, so yeah, home of the crazies out there.
I saw one guy get busted. He was out, what was it? He was out like an hour later, back on the streets doing it again, got busted again.
They're nuts.
So, like,
Absolutely
but
insane.
check this out though, like think about this. Like, they appear to be nuts. Homeless, crazy doing weird shit, right?
MK Ultra.
But no, I'm not even going down that hole right now. Think about like paid actors, right?
Yeah.
Have you guys heard the proposal to make LA a smart city?
Yep, that's what's going on. That's what's
Wipe it out.
what the consensus is.
How does it? What's the proposed smart city?
So basically, you know how they had the whole Build Back Better and the you'll own nothing and be happy. And so they wanted. They originally they did a trial run. I think it was Chattanooga, Tennessee, for. I could be off on that. I had to look back, but they were integrating smart cities, and that's when they were basically beta testing fucking 5G and shit. And it was like nobody had to pay for internet. It was all free. Like the whole city was on one grid, whether it was the train systems, the buses, the public service buildings, your home internet, everything was integrated in this one fucking like encompassing like data fucking boundary. And like they want to do that with LA, but like on a larger, more advanced scale. Wow. And then everything is fucking like micromanaged. I'm talking, it's almost like fucking like the China shit. Like, but built and sold as a, we're creating a technological utopia for you.
I suppose, yeah. Silicon Valley's out there.
If you look up on a Google map, like view of how those fires started, like when the main meat and potatoes of the fire starting, you can see 3 sections of LA starting at the same time as if they were coordinated. Not only that, you also hear about people up to 2 weeks before the fires. Everybody's Allstate insurance canceled everybody's fire insurance as if they knew it was coming.
Right.
Not only that, what's his name? Governor
Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
Newscum. Yeah. He had all of the reservoirs emptied before this happened.
Oh yeah.
So they had no water to put it out.
Right.
Or any funding for the fucking fire department.
I mean, there's a lot of bullshit that all doesn't add up.
Perfect
and if
storm.
you guys see how all at the same time, the 3 main spots that got burnt to shit, if you look on a global map, it watches all of them start at this exact same time.
The other thing to add to the mystery that's a little convenient is the real estate. Have you ever seen that show called like Selling Sunset or whatever? It's on Netflix. It's just got a bunch of super hot like LA babes that are selling like $25 million mansions. So it's like top level real estate people. They went out and put out a thing saying like, you know, we'll buy your house, we'll waive all the commission fees and stuff. They're trying to make it really easy for people that lose their houses, don't have insurance, to sell their land.
It's BlackRock.
Yeah. BlackRock, right. A big BlackRock thing.
Well, I got like 2 things to say about like not only that, but like what Tony was talking about is how the 3 different sections like kicked off at once. That's the same exact thing that happened with the Canada wildfires that was like last summer or whatever.
For these smart cities, when they announced that they were going to start doing these smart cities all over the world, like Valencia, Spain, there's a bunch of cities that were all on the list for smart cities, and every single one of those, I think it's like 6, 7 of them.
Dude, that one
No,
got flooded
LA's
in
like
Italy.
number 8. They all got torched. All of them. Within the last
or
year.
whatever got flooded. Remember that whole shit just got.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I always say
they're all
though,
getting wiped out. And you got Dallas, that's on the list coming up. You got Chicago, Like, there's more on the list. So if you live in one of them cities, get the fuck out.
You know, the thing is, though, you're talking about how, like, it was a perfect storm. And it's like, I always say, like, 2's a coincidence, 3's a pattern. You got way more than 3 going on.
Right. It's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of balls being dropped by a lot of the same people, man.
Hey, open your eyes, do your research, pay attention, keep your head on a swivel.
It's a lot of money at stake, though, out there. California's worth a lot of money, which I could see why they want to kind of get their hands on it.
Yeah, I mean,
this one's just going to touch base on the quantum level again, just like I was talking in the last episode. Just another refresher, little quick one.
Sure.
Equation that quantum computers solve quickly, like in a couple minutes, that if you converted the entire universe into a computer, it would take so much time to solve this equation that the universe would die of heat death. And these quantum computers can solve it in minutes. And what that means, they believe, is that this is proof of the multiverse, is that this quantum computer is somehow connected to other sources of computing power in an infinite number of universes. That's the only thing that would make sense why this thing is able to solve this quickly.
what?
So all right. So I was looking into that too. It's basically talking about electrons. So we're computing on electrons now. The nature of electrons is they're all over the place as far as like dimensions are concerned. They exist in a cloud of probability, and that is what we're computing on. So when they say other dimensions, it's not like the troll dimension or whatever. It's just the nature of the electron. That's the way I understand it. So it's kind of like how the double slit experiment can be misinterpreted pretty easily just by tying in consciousness to the measurements. This is the same thing. When they talk about other dimensions, it's not like I mean, who knows? I'm not a physicist, but it's not the way it sounds, kind of. That's the way I interpret it, basically.
You kind of brought something interesting up there when you're talking about like the electrons, and they're all kind of connected and they're everywhere. Have you ever heard about, like, okay, let's say you're sitting on one side of the universe, and if something moves in the universe,
yeah,
like
entanglement. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's
spooky action at a distance.
Something like that.
Spooky action at a distance.
Yeah, and I don't understand any of that, but it's like it's been proven in labs that that's what happens.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like they talk about with physics. They talk about like, yeah, you can just take a particle and then it does this and then it's entangled. And like, how does one take a particle? Like how do you do that?
Right.
So,
a really small set of tweezers.
yeah, dude.
Well, I mean, it's like, I'm not gonna lie, it's way beyond my scope of understanding, but I've seen a few lectures where they talk about it, and it's pretty fascinating.
It's wild.
It's true. Like, the thing about, here's one thing that I heard quantum physicists say that like made me feel better about trying to understand it. And he said, including myself, he goes, if there's any quantum physicists or theorists or whatever that tells you that they understand quantum physics,
they're lying. Yeah,
they don't.
Yeah.
He's like, it's all theory. Like, all of this stuff is like, we're just trying to figure out. Nobody understands it. We're not even capable of understanding it. We're not meant to understand it.
Right. It's one of those things where it's like there's a gap between an equation that you can write on a piece of paper to like describe this stuff and the real world. There's a gap. I don't know. Well, they're trying to bridge that gap, I think, but it's demonstrable. That's why we have quantum computers. That's why we have a lot of modern marvels, the internet in general, just because physicists like knew how to work with our reality. But yeah, the next step is quantum computers. Michio Kaku talked about it, where it's transistors are getting smaller and smaller and stuff, and circuit boards are getting tinier and tinier. Well, eventually, like, you can only make a circuit board so tiny. The next step is to go down to the atom level, and that's what we're doing with those.
You know what pisses me off about that? Is that while they're doing that, my phone gets bigger and bigger.
You don't like the big phone? I want the iPhone.
Honestly, I had the Max before. I had the Max before, and I had to go down to the standard size, and I still think it's like too big. Like, don't get me wrong, it's convenient when you're like watching videos and doing shit on it, but like, I just feel like I'm carrying a brick around in my pocket.
Yeah.
Like I almost missed this.
The Nokias, those are kind of tight.
Yeah.
Just play Snake on. What else you need?
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know. But wasn't there something so satisfying though about like when you had like a razor or something? You just clamp that shut to end the call and you just do that in your pocket. You barely even knew it was there.
Or the slider. I love being able to fucking flick that in my pocket for sure.
Man. Like, there's just. I don't know if it's nostalgia or if it was just something satisfying about it, but like, don't get me wrong, I would not give up all the features that my iPhone can do, but
yeah,
I
it's
really miss the convenience
on a razor.
Well, dude, I mean, it was just, you know what I mean? You didn't even know you had the damn thing in your pocket.
Right.
If you lost it, you didn't even realize it until you're at the next party or something.
And you could drop it without like your heart skipping a beat because it's like a mortgage payment that you just dropped.
Everything you learned in history class is a lie. And I want to show you why. When you think back to history class, what do you really remember?
Nothing.
They told us all kinds of stories about Columbus and the Mayflower and the Indians. They told us about Boston Tea Party and everything else, even the Civil War. But did they really tell us everything? How about the aether, the free energy of the atmosphere? How about the giants that used to exist on this earth? What about this mud flood event? This catastrophic flood that seems to have buried much of our world? Did they teach you about the millions of mounds found all across North America? And did they teach you about the pyramids that they also found all across the Americas? How about the mummies they found in the Grand Canyon? There's an article from the 1800s I posted before that says Columbus came to the Americas in 1492 to seek the Grand Khan of Tartary. Did they teach you about Tartary? Did they show you that on the maps of Tartary there's actually names of cities? Did you get to read any of the books on Aether written in the 1800s, or they were made obsolete? Many people say they were still taught that the earth was flat, even as late as the 1930s and 40s in the schools. The history that's being taught nowadays leaves out a lot of details. And when you look at the old world, and you see all these dates starting in J and I, maybe our timeline is not what it seems. Maybe we're living in a different year than we've been told.
We are.
As always, thanks for watching.
That's good. I like that.
I like that, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I found this interesting because I've been doing a lot of homework on Tartaria and a lot of the technology they had back then, and I look at a lot of their buildings, their structures, everything has like a point with a copper point on the top of it because they all had free energy. And that's the whole reason you hear about the Great Fire of Chicago, the Great Fire. There was a Great Fire in every single big city on the planet.
Still is.
Yeah, and they tried to wipe out this entire existence. They had electrical vehicles before we had supposed horse and buggies. You know,
water fuel vehicles too.
It all got the J.P. Morgans and Rockefellers moved on in, and they wanted the combustible engine and all that. It was all money.
Yeah, money is a crazy thing like that. Make people do a lot of shitty things.
Money, power, and control.
I just thought that was interesting.
No, I love that video. Like, there's so much that like ran through my head like watching that, and it's. I mean, I take a lot of it as fact. I mean, I'm sure there's some inaccuracies in there, but like, here's one of the things that I learned. Like, I had always heard about the red-headed giants of North America and like Canada and stuff, and so I started like when I was gaming, like when I used to play on Xbox and stuff. I met like some dudes that were like pure blood Navajos. I met some other like true blood like Native American, like full blooded Native Americans. And I started like asking them questions. First it was like more joking stuff, like well, tell me about skinwalkers and stuff, and they just fucking freaked out. Like, they didn't even talk about it, like superstitious. But I'm like, hey, like, let me ask you this. Have you ever heard anything from like your grandparents or like whatever about the red-headed giants of like North America? And they're like, how the fuck do you know that?
Nice.
They're like, what are you talking about? You know, I'm like, I'm just wondering, have there been stories like passed down, you know? And they're like, yeah, like for real.
Damn.
And I'm like,
There's
kind of crazy.
That famous story about that platoon out in Afghanistan.
Yes.
That the first platoon went in, lost contact, sent in a second platoon, saw ripped up shreds of clothes, bones and shit. And then a big ass giant came up with a spear, shanked one of them, and then they ended up unloading on him, killing him, and then shipping him back, got rid of him.
In Afghanistan?
Yeah, it was like a fucking...
He was living out of a cave and shit.
14-foot giant.
Guess what color hair?
Red hair. 2 sets of teeth, 6 fingers, 6 toes.
Damn.
Yeah.
Huh.
And the locals, when they would do the same thing. They would bring goats and shit up there, just so it wouldn't come running through the village and kidnap and eat people because they were cannibals.
Damn.
Yeah.
Sounds like an
That's
anime.
a pretty well documented story to look into that. I think I brought that up on this show a couple episodes back.
I think you might have actually.
Yeah. Does ring a bell.
Yeah, but there's a lot of lore on that. Like North America, like just the whole continent of North America is like riddled with crazy shit. Like she was talking about, there's like tons of things that people think are like burial mounds or like just these giant hills, but they're actually pyramids that are just covered up by like dirt that have been grown over and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all the stuff that they're finding through like LiDAR scan down in the Mayan region, the Yucatan Peninsula.
Drawings and shit. Yeah.
And like that shit still exists here. Even in China, they got a bunch of it, and they just don't talk about it.
Right. Yeah. The one thing that made that video made me think about is how I don't remember ever being taught about like the catastrophic cataclysm kind of type events back 14,000 years ago, like the flood shit. And I wonder if that's because it's kind of like maybe controversial, and maybe even some people like could see some parents that aren't necessarily religious thinking that that's just the school trying to teach religion, or vice versa. Get kind of controversial. So as a result, the school's just like, we're not going to touch that. We're going to talk about dinosaurs and Benjamin Franklin.
Right. I mean, and the other thing that I thought was really interesting about that last video is that she talked about like, are we even living in the year that we like say we are? We're technically not. Once they switch it over to the Gregorian calendar, they reset shit.
Yep.
The great reset.
And when they did it. What was it? Was it by? It was like almost like a full century. They wanted to start on like year 1.
Yeah.
And it was like due to some, I don't remember, was it one of the Caesars or
how did that work?
Who the fuck was it now that I think about it?
I feel like Caesars.
It was one of the Caesars that like when they switch over to the Gregorian calendar and said like, this is I want this to be like, it was almost to like his legacy, like wanted like set to like be like, this is when life really started kind of shit. Like
Yeah.
Now this is a trip right here. You guys know like the Masonic symbol, the as above or above. Was it something
as above, so below?
As above, so below, and then the symbol is like a 6-pointed star, and it's got this dude right in the middle, and then it's got like the below one. It looks like all demonic, but then there's one that looks.
Oh yeah.
You ever see the way Baphomet holds his hands too in the statue?
Yeah.
Is he doing a gang sign like?
He does like he's kind of like pointing one up and down like.
Oh, okay.
But this is gonna trip you guys out right here.
The 2D image of Statue of Liberty on Google Earth. Somebody told me that I needed to watch I Pet Goat, so I looked it up, and let me show you what I've seen off of it.
Seen that.
It has to do with the Statue of Liberty here. Well, yeah, of course I went to Google Earth to see if this was real. Check this out. So, check this out. Seal Solomon sits over the Statue of Liberty when you line up all these points.
Damn.
When you line up the points, it finishes off the rest of it. See that? Watch closely.
Wow.
And in the middle, just like everything else, it says Ram. R-A-M.
Ram, huh?
And you see how the outside circle fits these points? Just look, it's all made for the shit. It's all made for it. This is who runs the show, man. They own this country, and we're too stupid to see it. But check out what else. See the shadow here? Now Google plays a part in this crap. Google Earth. They hide images.
Watch the shadow.
So now we know the Seal of Solomon fits over the Statue of Liberty perfectly and made for it. Here's another Seal of Solomon.
What the fuck up?
What? That actually fits in there.
Get out of here. Look at that.
Look at the shadow.
The beard.
I don't know. Are those breasts?
Yeah, no, I'm feeling you 100%, dude.
Whenever you line it up, as above, so below, when you line it up on that center line, watch the shadow that Google Earth leaves on the Statue of Liberty. Is that a coincidence?
Okay, that's a good find.
What? Leave a comment.
Good. Wow.
The shadow, dude.
So we've been doing that for tens of thousands of years. I've got, actually, that ties into one of my videos I've got later on. Yeah, that's crazy.
You want to know what's really crazy too is like, I mean, it's fact. It's fact. You ever see the layout of Washington D.C. like outside the White House and the way the streets are lined up?
The Masonic symbol and the.
Well, yeah, but they also have like a fucking owl.
Yep.
And then, what was it now? I forgot what I was gonna say.
No, but if you go up high enough, you can see
the Vatican. It's the fucking keyhole, and then there's the fucking key like further down, like in Vatican City.
Inside of the church, it looks like a big serpent head, a big snake head.
Wow. And the whole backdrop of that is
the
like
whole thing is like one big snake head.
Damn.
Inside the church.
Have you ever seen that?
No.
Okay, dude, you get this is something you had to see. Okay,
that's the church.
The church, right? And then behind like the stage where they like do their whole thing, basically like people fighting for their lives. Like you can kind of see the top one and stuff, and like people trying to escape hell.
Does that not
make
look
it make
like
sense?
A snake's head?
Dude, 100%.
With eyes, the fangs, all of it.
And who does the serpent represent?
Whoa, that's wacky. That's crazy.
Dude, it's disturbing as.
All right, this next one, real quick one. I just thought this was crazy.
He said that if you were born and right next to you, like your mother and you both put on a watch at the moment you were born, and then you check that watch 30 years later, if you have a perfect watch, it was never out of time, your watch would have a different time than her watch because you have gone through time differently than she has.
Fractionally. I don't understand.
Yeah, fractionally. Okay. Because how fast you travel, you experience time in a different way, the path you take in life, the different terrain you travel over the earth, all those factors play in to how much time has passed.
This is gonna sound really weird, and it probably has an explanation for it, but I find it fucking odd as fuck. All the clocks in my house are like synced. Most of them are already like hooked to the internet, so they just do the time on their own. The ones that don't, I do them all at the same fucking, like, I'll set it ready for like the microwave, you know, in daylight saving, and then like hit them both at the same time, like sync them up. Everything's on point, right? One day I'm at my mom's house, and she's got this fucking dope bright white numbers digital clock on the wall.
Yep.
And it has a remote for it, so you can like set the date and time and all that shit, whatever. And I'm like, that's a cool clock. And that's all I said. And she goes, do you want it? Because we don't care. I'm like, fuck yeah, I do. And so I take this clock home, put it up, set the time, sync it up with everything else, like wait for the minute to turn, hit it, you know, set.
Yep.
Okay. Maybe off by a couple of seconds at most. We're granting that's a stretch, fraction of a second. This fucking clock always goes faster.
I know why. Scientifically, I know why.
Tell me.
When you plug a clock, specifically a clock, into the wall, we have AC current, alternating current, and that is coming from the power plant. It either, I think it's like 59 or 60 hertz, and clocks expect that to be perfect. And if it's not coming out at 59 or 60 hertz from your wall, your clock will be off. The reason that I say this is there was a guy who I listened to a 20-minute NPR story on this exact same thing. A guy was in his apartment. He was normally a really punctual guy. He moved into his apartment for college. He had his all his clock set. After a few weeks, he noticed that he was 5 minutes late. After a few months, he was 10 minutes late for stuff, and he was going crazy. Like, his girlfriend noticed something. She's like, "Yeah, are you okay? Like, you're just showing up late all the time." He's like, "No, I don't know what it is. My clocks are all right." He went through and he synchronized everything, and then it happened again. He went over to his neighbor's house. He's like, "What are your clocks set to?" They were all set exactly the same, and he's like, I can't figure this out. He thought he was going crazy. He started losing sleep because all of his clocks were fucked up compared to the rest of the world. He eventually made a call to the superintendent or the custodian for his building, and he's like, "Hey man, I need some answers. I don't know what's going on. My clocks are all fucked up." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And he said exactly what I said. The hertz coming out of the wall dictate what the clock is. So it could be a matter of like a specific outlet that could be bad, or your entire house could be getting bad power at a different like frequency. But if that's the case, all of your clocks will permanently and forever be fucked up compared to the rest of the world. It's crazy, but it's just the nature of how the outlets and the AC current work.
It has to be like the outlet then, because
try a different
all
outlet.
the other clocks in the house stay right on point. Like, so it's like once a week I'll have to go in there and I'll put it like, because it goes faster. Yeah. It'll end up surpassing the time and be like ahead. So I'll have to go back like once a week and hit it, and then like put it like a minute or two behind all the other clocks, because I know it'll eventually catch up, and then I got a little bit of time to like. It drives me fucking crazy. But it's a cool clock, so I don't want to get rid of it.
Try a different outlet. Try a different outlet for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Or if you have a generator, do that. Because if the frequency isn't coming out at either 59 or 60 hertz exactly, you're gonna have problems one way or another, fast or slow.
So weird.
Yeah, dirty power.
Interesting.
Yeah, the TV, the cable box, cell phone, obviously, microwave, stove, all that shit. Even in my son's room, everything, boom. It's just one clock. Yeah. Between the bathroom door and the bedroom door.
And then is the control. So try it in different outlets, and then also try plugging in a different clock, like a bedside clock, into that, whatever you have that one plugged into, just to see if that affects it faster or slower. If one's working normally and matching up with your microwave and your cell phone and stuff, that's good. But like try a different clock in that outlet and see if it has any impact. But yeah, that'll do it. That'll be the reason.
To just give me like something cool supernatural shit.
Not just in one place, not in two places, not on one continent, multiple continents. And the U.S. government knows it. They know they're extraterrestrial, I can assure you. And so what you're seeing is a mix of military drones and non-human craft entities engaging in some, I guess, process. And that is all the government can do. And so what the ETs and their genius have done is put the United States government, the UK government, in an impossible position, finally. In other words, we can't tell you what they really are, though we know, but we can't stop them from doing this. And they continue to do it, and they will continue to do it. And the pressure on the government, the embarrassment for the government will become excruciating. And those people within the United States government that somehow have decided that we will never know this truth as long as they have walked this face of the earth will finally just capitulate. And so this is an ET-driven intervention to get us into the post-disclosure world before we blow ourselves to hell. If we would end this truth embargo, we could stop making fools of ourselves and our government and move on with civilization.
Interesting twist on that, huh? Guys?
Word. A truth embargo.
That there's a craft
there we go.
slowly making its way to us here on Earth. And that is the lie they're going to want you to believe.
Uh-oh.
Your government now wants you to know one truth. And that truth is that UFOs are real. They've already done told you. Sometimes when you want somebody to know a truth, it's so you can set them up to believe a lie. And that's coming. I have zero doubt. That lie is coming. What is the lie? Specifically, you want me to say it right now? For real? Real? On camera? To be put in the show? Yes. Okay. Problem with that. If we tell the lie before it's told, they can adapt. That wouldn't be wise. I'll tell you privately, but I would really think about if you want to put this in your show. For real. That's a real thing I'm telling you. So will you think about it before putting it in your show?
Absolutely.
Okay. So UFOs are real, and they've been here a long time, and that's the truth. But the lie is coming. All indications, like all of them, is that that lie is going to be that there is a craft slowly making its way to us here on Earth. And that is the lie they're going to want you to believe. It's nuanced, how they explain that, the nature of that threat. But that 100% is the lie you are going to be told. You even got a date. People been whispering a date for a long time now. I know where that lie comes from. I know specifically what document from the 70s initiated the idea of that lie. A classified document.
Yeah.
That is the lie you will be told.
All right. So,
100%.
yeah, because I've heard little whisperings too of alien aircraft spotted in whatever, how far away. Not sure when it's going to get here, blah, blah, blah. But be on the lookout for the lie.
Interesting.
And then we can head to the next.
In the dark too.
This one will go right into the next one. Something at night following it. They're all blacked out. Yeah. I'll keep watching after this. Keep watching.
It's okay.
What? Some
Look at that spotlight going
shit.
crazy.
They're firing at him. Look at the tracers.
What? Hold on, man. I gotta say something here. I'm never gonna join the fucking military. I'm too old. Can't hack it. It ain't for me. But you ever need an extra fucking gun, man, shooting a fully automatic 50 cal at some fucking weird shit in the sky, I'm your guy.
Yeah.
I'll even pay for my own flight. I'll come down there and just.
So if the aliens are here, that was in Texas. That just happened recently. I've heard from other places that we ain't touching them. You know,
No.
I guarantee you whatever they were shooting at was like, haha,
Right.
on to the next.
It's fucking Neo in the Matrix.
There's one.
Elon Musk or umbrella.
That's crazy. Look at how fast that
Untouched.
Oh, no way. This is Elon Musk's shit coming back down. I've seen this from different angles. It's really cool.
That was amazing.
That was a rocket.
Yeah.
They tried shooting that out of the sky. That wasn't one of Elon Musk's rocket. That was a UFO traveling, and they tried taking it out.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah, damn. It seemed to be, yeah, that's moving fast.
So, yeah, I got funny links left. That's all you, Benny.
Okay, yeah. Let's see. We got a couple. They tie in nicely. I remember how they were talking about the shadow, Statue of Liberty, Google Earth, and stuff like that, like making patterns. And then you brought up, the Vatican. You brought up Washington D.C. All that stuff. We've been doing this for thousands of years. He talks about another one right here, a clear example of how we do this shit. We'll make shadow play and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Really specific shadow play that's undeniable.
At Chichen Itza, the bottom of the stairway, in fact the bottom of all its stairways, on each side there's the head of an enormous serpent. But the balustrade up the side of the stairway is just completely plain. But on the spring equinox, towards sunset, between about 5 o'clock in the evening and 5:45 in the evening, this magical effect occurs, and the shadows of the corner of the pyramid are cast on the balustrade of that stairway, and they create the shadow form of a serpent, of an undulating serpent, which joins with that serpent head. And that only happens on the equinox and not at any other time. So they pinpointed it precisely. They oriented their pyramid precisely so that one part could cast a shadow on another on that special day.
This one is really short, 12 seconds. Talking about those giants. This Ancient Traces War of the Gods. This has some stuff. I'm not sure about this first one. It just seems like time, maybe, but it looks like, shit was melted. It's all these photos that maybe we'll watch it. We'll watch it one at a time. But these photos, it's like stone, ancient stone, and it's like melted or burned in really, really. I mean, I don't know how else it would be done, like magical, powerful ways. We got that. Those are giant stone walls, and you can see that just part of it's fucked up, knocked down, and the rest is standing just fine.
Okay. Well, I'll stand after this.
This, it's like, how does that happen? It's a giant monolithic stone. It's something it's not scratched out. Something fucking smashed into it.
Looks like it burned it.
Yeah. Well, the last one's my favorite. Actually, no. There's this one. I don't know what that is. That's kind of a thing, and I don't know the scale of that. This last one. Look at that. It's a clear wall with a giant fucking burn in it. I don't know,
dude.
And that's like an old wall, wall, like lightning bolts and shit, dude.
So you guys know the story of Pompeii, right?
A little bit.
So Pompeii was like this thriving community bed. It was wasn't like anything super technological advanced, but it was advanced for its time. Supposedly the volcano that was over it erupted, the lava came down and wiped out the whole city. There's even bodies that are still encapsulated in magma and stuff. But I've seen some crazy scientists go there and evaluate the thing and stuff, and they start talking about basically the nuclear radiation that exists with there, or the radiation that exists within the site, but they start talking about direct energy weapons and shit.
Oh yeah,
really ties into
yes,
basically melted the fucking city instead of it being a lava or a volcano thing, because it would get you would think people would be have plenty of time to get the fuck out of there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Instead, you see people sleeping that are mummified.
Yeah. They're just so almost cement covered. They're laying there
Yep.
And when I look at that, it makes me think of at some point in time when shit hit the fan and directed energy weapons, but with a magical way. You know, like how the Egyptian gods came down and like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Fucking
Like,
Superman's laser eyes.
Yeah.
Just melting rock.
Dude, yeah. People back in the day, I feel like they saw some shit.
Yeah.
This goes
Do
on
you
to the next
realize our clocks are ticking more slowly than the clocks that are on GPS satellites? Because they are
like yours.
farther away from Earth's center of gravity than we are. The closer you are to a source of gravity, the slower your time ticks. And they portrayed that in the movie Interstellar. When the guys went down to the planet around the black hole, they were down there for 15 minutes. They came back up to the spaceship. The guy had been there for 20 years. Time is always being touched by your speed and by the strength of the gravitational field you're in.
The last two are
That's a trip.
Yeah, the last two are Matrix simulation ones.
Yes.
Neil deGrasse Tyson interviewed Lawrence Fishburne, Morpheus from the Matrix, and they had some good talks about it. This one is from earlier this week.
I just want to kick something back up in that last one before we jump into this. Like, you know, he's did a really good job of explaining what time is and how time works, but like I'm of the opinion that time doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's a construct. Yeah, it's just something that we use to describe something else.
Yeah,
but it's a good way to like track.
Yeah,
it's a useful tool, but like in the grand scheme of things,
a tool almost.
It's not even real. Like he explained, like look, he was down there for 15 minutes, came up, it was 20 years later.
Right. That's just a magnified version of what you're talking about with if two people have the same clock on after like
the second the kid was born.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, dude, for sure. I'm
gonna do that.
Yeah, dude.
Do it, dude. That'd be crazy.
For sure.
Make sure they're Rolexes though, man.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Something timeless.
Let's see here.
No, I'm just kidding.
So this one.
Dad jokes. Dad jokes.
When I was at Princeton. All right. Deep thinker, likes calculating the ends of things.
Nice.
With Bayesian statistics.
I don't know what this one is. This isn't Morpheus.
He's heavily quoted in this book, The Doomsday Calculation, and William Poundstone is a smart guy unto himself, and I am now convinced.
Now you're convinced.
Are you ready?
Okay, go ahead.
Here is what convinced me we are not in a simulation. What do all those simulated universes have in common?
I don't agree with this, by the way, but
they have the power to simulate themselves.
What I'm saying.
Do we have that power now?
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
Kinda.
Because we don't have that power yet.
So we can't continue the chain.
Wait, so either we are the real one,
right,
or we're the one in the chain that's still evolving to try to then make a simulation within their own world. So the odds of us being a simulation goes from a gazillion to 1.
It flips.
50-50.
Wow.
And I'm good with that. That changes my life completely.
Do you think that we might just be a simulation of something else?
I wish I had a good argument against that, and I do not. Just start with a real universe. You say, I'm going to program a universe in your computer and give the life forms in there the belief that they have free will. Then those life forms create a universe within their computer, allowing their life forms to think they have free will. And it's computers all the way down. Now you close your eyes and throw a dart. Which of all of these universes are you most likely to hit? Because only one of them is real and all the rest are simulations. Just the statistics of that tell us we are probably in a simulation. And further evidence for this is some brilliant alien in his parents' basement is programming us, and anytime tranquility descends upon the earth, something comes in to ruin the whole thing. And I think they program that in just to keep them entertained. They'll throw in Brexit. They'll throw in wars. Just weird stuff just so that they can watch and be entertained while they eat popcorn. I was told once that anytime peace does break out, it's because they were called for dinner from their parents.
Dude. So check this out. This is a really funny ass story, right? Okay. So, having a conversation, I'm talking about how I used to like do gaming, like do first person shooters and stuff. And my girl goes, well, I used to play this game called Second Life.
Yeah.
And I started laughing and I'm like, isn't that like just a joke? And like, we got in pretty in depth in this, and she starts explaining to me the whole thing and like how it worked. How there's like in-game currency you can turn into real money in the real world.
That's the one Dwight plays in The Office.
That's where I was going. So like I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And she's like getting pissed at this point because like I'm just not riding with it. You know what I mean? and like she'll probably watch this and laugh when she sees this, but like I'm like, dude, I honestly thought it was a joke because Dwight was playing in The Office, and I've been rewatching The Office lately.
Yeah.
And that episode came up, so I did like a screen video of it, and then I sent it to her, and she's just like, dude. And I'm like, do you see why I thought it was a joke? Like, because I literally thought it was a made-up game just for the fucking show to be like, because in my opinion, it sounded so like ridiculous that like, why would anybody play this game? But like, she showed me like a better version of it, and like kind of like showed me some clips or whatever that made it seem cooler. But like, I literally thought it was just a made-up game for the TV show, and like, so I thought she was just trying to fuck with me, and in turn I ended up kind of irritating her because I was like, this is bullshit. Like, why would you even do that?
Dick.
Right? Like, it was funny as fuck though. And then the fact that I was rewatching The Office and it came up, I'm like,
yep,
I have to send this.
You gotta send it. You gotta. It's awesome.
All right, we're down to the final last. Gotta give you guys some goofy shit. You know, we're gonna stress you out with all these conspiracies and stuff. I'll give you a little laughter at the end. This is for my bros.
You're my best friend. I shouldn't have to ask you to lie for me. I shouldn't have to ask for your permission for me to put you in my life. You know why? Because you're my best fucking friend, bitch. That's your job. The day that we sign up and say that we best friends, that means that my bullshit is your bullshit. And your bullshit is my bullshit. If you're my real best friend, you should know that I need you to lie for me by the look on my face. If I'm looking at you and I'm not blinking, if I'm like this, that's a goddamn sign. That means the bitch got to drop on us. My back is against the wall. This is not a test. It's the real deal. Help me. Help me. Nigga. Help me.
That's true story, right? I mean, shit.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's your boy, you know?
They do say the bro code.
Yep. Oh, that's fucking great.
Oh, dude from Breaking Bad.
It is.
Babe, what are you doing here? I thought you were supposed to be at work.
I took the day off to surprise you.
I'm so sorry. It's not what it looks like.
It's not. But
how can you do this?
It looks
to me,
like it.
babe?
It's just, oh my god.
It's over between us.
Babe, please give me another chance. I promise I'll never.
She cheated on me.
No, babe, it was a joke. What are you talking about? We set this whole thing up.
You are cheating on me, and you guys are covering up for her.
No.
Look, listen, it was a joke. It was supposed to be funny.
Calm down. Take it easy.
Put the gun down. Put the gun down. Put the gun down? Okay.
No. What are you doing? Serious?
Should I tell her? Oh, yeah. Tell her. You see, we knew that you were going to prank me, so I reversed it and pranked you.
This isn't even funny. You went too far. I thought he was really dead. It wasn't even funny. It's over.
Hey, we're joke.
Oh, I didn't see it go that way.
Very good.
This last one is like, I mean, those are funny. Yeah, the last ones are funny. This one's like, damn.
Let's see.
I'm kind of nervous.
Me too.
Skydiving
What's
instructor.
that?
I'm feeling nervous too.
Oh my god.
I just have like a weird feeling in my stomach. Yeah, I don't know. I just woke up feeling off today. Just like luck's not on my side.
I hate to hear that.
And glasses, you'll be with my guy Dirk over there.
So, I don't even get them on the weekends now.
Y'all good, D?
My lawyer. I just lost the kids.
You guys talking vibes? Something's weird, right?
Why is he wearing AirPods?
Yeah, but maybe it's just my first day jitters, you know?
Oh my god, dude.
So this is my life, huh? Okay.
Sir, you need to land the plane now. Now! You guys are gonna be fine. These guys are pros. They got into this business because they love it, right?
Maybe. Maybe there's just a small part of me that always wanted to die.
Okay, let's jump.
Hey, man, if this is it, I want you to know I love you.
I love you too, man.
No, like romantically. I've always been in love with you.
All right, thank you, man.
I want to jump now.
My whole life.
Yeah.
Just something's off today. I just
He's all smiling ear to ear while he's saying it. I don't know.
You guys talking vibes? Something's weird, right?
Oh my god.
It's the first day jitters. I don't know.
Very good. That was fantastic. Gosh.
Love it, man. Anything else you guys want to cover? Or?
I love to laugh.
Yeah, we got a good amount of ground covered today.
Yeah.
We're back.
Yeah, back in action.
All right, well, I mean, I guess that wraps up episode 14. But this should be up in a couple days on YouTube. Every link that we watch here will be in the description. Please go over their channels, like, subscribe. And on ours, if you made it this far, definitely click the like and subscribe button. We're trying to hit 100 and eventually hit that triple digit mark or quadruple digit marker. So in the meantime, we really appreciate you. Thanks for watching. We out.
Conversation unknown. This mix was recorded by Tazl.
I hope you enjoyed the mix. Be sure to tune in next week. Keep it